Today I'm going to talk about something called intuitive eating, or I like to call it the no diet diet. And this is especially good for maybe you watching if you've tried every diet under the sun and you've gotten nowhere over the years and you're more confused. You are more confused than ever before. This isn't a diet, it's a way of living. And there's 10 principles that I'm going to break down as a two-part series. I'll talk about the first 5 today and then the next 5 tomorrow or the next day when I can fit it in. But what I think could be really helpful is if you jot down after each principle an action to take away, to make this very practical, very pragmatic, because I'm going to give you a takeaway after each principle. And this isn't to say, hey, you need to live like this now. I'm just giving you the information, and you might think, you know what, that actually sounds good for me. I should try doing this. Or you might be like, nah, I'll give it a go, but maybe. Completely up to you, the point is. So the first principle of intuitive eating, this isn't my principle. I forgot who came up with it, but I'll reference them in the comments. The first principle is to reject the diet mentality. This is you simply saying, I accept all diets, but I respectfully dismiss them all at the same time. So essentially you're detaching from any diet. You're not labeling yourself as I am Josh and I do this diet. It's now I am Josh and I don't follow any diets. And there's something very empowering about that because now you're not attached to something which tells you to restrict something. And when you get in that mindset of I'm not doing any diets right now, how free it's very freeing. It's very freeing for your mind, and it now taps into the best source of information, the best diet. And that diet and information is tapping back into you. Tapping back into you now, not relying on an external diet, listening to what you personally need. So that's the first principle. So the takeaway could be respectfully not doing any diets now, and now I'm tuning into me and what I need. That's kind of the first step. The second principle is called, honor. Honor your hunger. People are slamming things next door, so hopefully they don't slam. Ruins my train of thinking. Honor your hunger. So this means tapping back into your body's internal cues and messages. And this, in the context of hunger, is listening to when you're satiated and full and when you're hungry. Because this day and age, we don't tend to listen to our own body and our own internal messages that our body is giving us. So we're losing the best source of information that there is. What your body is telling you. When you honor your hunger, now you start understanding, okay, when am I actually full? Am I satiated here? Have I eaten enough? Have I eaten too little? Do I need to add more fat to my diet next time? Do I need to add more protein? You're getting to know yourself a bit here. You're getting to know what Lucy wants, what James wants, what John needs, what Beverly needs, what Josh needs. You understanding yourself. Going to the when you're hungry, you're listening. Okay, am I actually hungry here, or am I just thirsty? Am I dehydrated? You know what? I haven't even stopped work for 12 hours. I haven't even tuned in to am I actually hungry? You start practicing that and you start realizing I really should eat at this time because I have no energy. Actually, I'm not even hungry at that time. I don't feel like I need to eat. I'm dehydrated there. You see where I'm going. It's tapping in and understanding yourself a bit better. And the principle 2 is specifically hunger hormones. So tap back into those cues for you to understand yourself a bit better. That's the action to take away, I guess. That's the action to take away. 3, make peace with your food. This is a good point. Maybe I would label it differently, but no, I think that's cool actually. Make peace with your food. This is actually appreciating that you're allowed all foods. You know, no food is off limits. And you're not seeing food as evil and dirty and clean and good, and you've got a gold star for eating fruit. You've You got to sit it out for an hour because you had a bit of chocolate. We're removing all of those conditions and all of those labels. And again, what this does to your mind, it becomes very freeing. Does this happen overnight? Definitely not. It requires practice. But it's like the first one. When you detach from labeling, you're freeing yourself, and you're freeing yourself from moral implications and moral judgment that that food has over you, right? And this is the way, and this is unfortunately the path to disordered eating, because we get very stressed and the brain starts creating patterns of when you're a good person and when you're bad, and that only causes havoc for your nutritional health and your mental health. So making peace with your food is respecting all food. And I tell you what, when you do this, because you might be thinking, well, and you're just allowed donuts and chocolate whenever. It's not about that. It's now you detaching from any labels and seeing food as food. Okay? Seeing food as some foods more nutritionally complete, of course. Some foods more nutritionally dense. Some drinks more hydrating, some drinks less hydrating. You see where I'm going with that? And again, this becomes very empowering because you're not detaching any negative emotions with food. Okay, so you're just allowing all food. And I was going to say, when you do this, you naturally tend to eat better anyway. You naturally want to eat better. You naturally become more disciplined. That's what I've seen anecdotally with clients. When I say, hey, just see food as food for a second, and they're like, actually, I feel much less stressed and much less guilty and shame. And I'm actually eating better. So, yeah. Did you get a takeaway for that one? I think so. Yes. Okay, challenge the food, please. I think, yeah, maybe I changed some words here, but these are the principles. Challenging the food police is kind of recognizing when you have a thought process with foods. For example, when you're about to eat chocolate, the food police would be you noticing, you saying, oh, I'm awful for eating this. I shouldn't. I'm going to feel guilty after this. Boom. You've caught yourself. What happens here is when you practice this awareness is the first step to change. So when you're aware of catching yourself being negative towards yourself or self-critical, self-judgment, self-sabotage with something you're about to eat or drink, then you can change the emotional outcome. So it's gone from I'm evil for eating this and you eat it, that you feel evil after. It's to I'm eating this, I feel evil. I'm aware of that, what I'm telling myself. I'm changing the course of the outcome. I'm going to eat it, and I'm going to practice not feeling guilty and shame, and I'm not an evil person. You see that? So the food police would be catching yourself doing things. And over time, you find yourself getting less and less self-critical and self-judgment if you enjoy a little glass of wine or enjoy some chocolate, or even, on the inverse, telling yourself you're such a good person for eating veggies. We're getting rid of all of that, in essence. Remember, awareness is the first step to change. So the takeaway, if you can start to be aware of how you see your food and catch yourself, I'm calling myself evil for eating this. I'm aware of it, right? A lot of us aren't aware that we do that, and there's a ripple effect or a domino effect of what that leads to. So we need to be aware of that in the first place in order to change that. That's what challenging the food police does. Should have thought my own words. Okay, so just start being aware of your emotions and your thoughts and your beliefs around your food. Okay, cool. All right, the last one is to discover the satisfaction factor. This is a good one, actually. This is now being aware of what your food tastes like, the experience you have with the food on your plate, the textures and the flavors and the sweetness and the taste of your food, right? We've lost we've lost that experience because we tend to eat with distraction. We tend to eat with the TV on or on your phone, or me sometimes doing work. But when you actually stop and become very mindful of what you're actually eating, you realize, oh, this food's actually brilliant. Oh, maybe next time I need to add more salt, or next time maybe more spice, and you essentially connecting back to the food on your plate. And what that does is approaches your eating habits in a very mindful way. And this has a myriad of other effects as well. You start eating slower, you start being more grateful with food, you start digesting food better because you're more mindful. The satisfaction factor. Mindful with the food on your plate instead of wolfing it down, eating with distraction, and unaware of how food tastes and how food makes you feel. Because let's be honest, food and eating is incredible. It's probably my favorite thing to do. I love food. And we've lost that experience, we've lost that joy. So it's tapping back into actually enjoying food again. Not feeling guilty and shame after eating, or I'm feeling full, I'm sluggish. When you have that experience with the satisfaction on your plate, you understand when you're full. You understand if you enjoyed this dinner. You understand if you need to add more spices. You understand what flavors are on the plate. Am I making sense? It becomes very much more of a mindful experience. And again, this has so many good effects for your nutritional health, but the way your mental health sees food as well. That's 5. And the 5th action would be to bring that experience in the present moment. Try it tonight with your dinner. And again, what you'll find is eating better, eating slower, enjoying the experience more, not rushing, maybe having a good conversation with your husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, your children. We're bringing back to the actual eating experience, which is pretty cool. All right, there's your 5. I will do part 2 at some point this week. But hey, if you like this style of content, I know you're starting to like the nutritional posts, then let me know. I'm going to do way more, but I think this is a good start. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions. And yeah, if you need any more guidance on this, just reach out and I can help you a little bit further. Yeah, let's leave it there. Enjoy your, what day is it? Enjoy your Wednesday. See you soon. See you for part 2.